Please subscribe math.com and don't forget to hit the bell icon for more video updates.
Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn regarding the binomial theorem, that what is binomial theorem, why do we use a binomial theorem, and how we can use the binomial theorem, and what is the easiest way to memorize the binomial theorem so that you can easily solve the binomial expressions. So first we will see what is binomial theorem. So binomial theorem is a method of expanding a binomial expression. Now what does it mean? So don't get confused, it's very easy. It's very easy. Just you need to keep in your mind that when you need to expand a binomial expression, you need to use the binomial theorem. Now what is binomial expression? Binomial expression is an algebraic expression that consists of two terms. So keep this in mind that we have to use the binomial theorem only when you have two terms. So when you have two terms, for example, a plus b, this is a binomial expression, or x plus 3, this is a binomial expression, because you have two terms. How many terms? Two terms. This is 1, this is 2, this is 1, this is 2. So you have to apply the binomial theorem only on the binomial expression, only on the expression containing the two terms. So this is one thing. Now the next thing is, why do we use the binomial theorem? The next thing is when to use the binomial theorem. So we have to use the binomial theorem when we have to multiply the binomial by itself multiple times. Now what does it mean? It means you have to use the binomial theorem when you will be asked to multiply a binomial expression like this. Let's say you have a binomial expression x plus 2. Similarly, again we have to write it. It means you have to multiply the binomial expression by itself multiple times like this, and so on. So what you will do, how you will multiply the binomial expression by itself multiple times, it's a long process. It will be time taking. So you need to use the binomial theorem instead of multiplying the multiple binomial expression together by using the normal method of multiplication. So this is the point when you have to use the binomial theorem. Now the next thing is, what is the need of using the binomial theorem? The need of using the binomial theorem is for time saving. Of course it will save your time. Rather than multiplying the binomial expression by itself multiple times will be a long and complex process. So instead of adopting that method, you have to use the binomial theorem to save your time and to keep the problem simple and to reduce the complexity. For time saving and to reduce the complexity, we have to use the binomial theorem to multiply a binomial expression to itself multiple times. So these 3 points you should keep in your mind regarding the binomial theorem. So let's now let's discuss how you can memorize the binomial theorem so that you can easily apply it on any kind of binomial expression you will be given, or doesn't matter how many times you are going to multiply the binomial expression by itself. So there are 3 things you need to remember while using the binomial theorem or while applying the binomial theorem on any binomial expression. So the first thing is, exponent of the first term go from n down to 0. It means when you start expanding the expression or the given binomial expression using the binomial theorem, the first term exponent should go from n to down to 0. Now what is n? N depends on how many times you are going to multiply the binomial by itself. For example, a plus b. Now how many times you are going to multiply this binomial expression by itself depends on the power of this expression. Now this power could be any value, any integer value. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4 or so on. So you have to start the exponent of the first term go from n down to 0, means when you expand this expression, what you will get, you have to write the first term this, it means this first term, and its power will be this n, a raised to power n. If the power is, if I say a plus b power 5, so when you expand this expression using binomial theorem, you have to write the first term as it is and its power will be 5. Then in the next term the power will be 4. Then in the next term it will be 3 and down to 0. This is the first thing you have to keep in your mind while expanding the binomial expression using the binomial theorem. Now what is the second thing? Second thing is exponent of the second term go from 0 to n. Now what does it mean? Let's see. We have a plus b power n and we are going to expand it using the binomial theorem. As we have seen in the first thing, that first term exponent will be the a5. Now what will be the exponent of the second term? It means this term. Its exponent will go from 0 to n. It means 0 to n is what? 5. If it's 5, then it will go from 0 to 5. So a5b0 plus a4b1 plus a3b2 and up to so on. So on means the power of a should go down to 0 and the power of b should go to n. So this is the second thing you have to keep in your mind, and keep this in mind, the sum of their powers will always equal to n. Here 5 plus 0 is 5, here 4 plus 1 is 5, here 3 plus 2 is 5 and so on. Now the last thing to remember, you can find the binomial coefficients by two methods. Now what is binomial coefficient? Now binomial coefficient is the constant that is multiplying by the binomial terms. So, or you can say the coefficients of the variables. So you can find, it means coefficients of the variable means what you will get here, what you will get here, what you will get here and so on. How it will be decided? It will be decided by using the two methods. Method number 1, so there will be two methods to find the binomial coefficients. One is the Pascal's triangle method and the other is by finding the combinations. So in this lecture I'm going to tell you about the Pascal's triangle method. As combinations we have already learned about the combinations, how you can find the combinations. So that is not a difficult one, but Pascal's triangle method is feasible when you have the value of n not too much, not too large or not high. So we can use both the methods to find the binomial coefficient. So let's see how you can use the Pascal's triangle, and I'll also elaborate regarding the combinations. So before understanding the Pascal's triangle, or before learning regarding the Pascal's triangle, let me write the general expression of binomial theorem for your ease. That is, if you are given with any expression like a plus b raised to power n, then you can apply the binomial theorem in a generic form as summation k is equals to 0 to n, where n k will be here. It's the combination n c k. You can say this is the combination notation. A raised to power n minus k and b raised to power k. So this is the general form of the binomial theorem that you can use, but this general form is really horrible for most of the students, so we are not going to look into it. We are going to learn how you can easily apply the binomial theorem on any expression given to you. So here I have made a table where in the first column I'll write the binomial expression, in the second I'll expand it by using the binomial theorem, and in the third I'll tell you how you can compute the binomial coefficient using the Pascal's triangle. So first of all, I'll start with the binomial expression, the simplest binomial expression as a plus b with the power of 0. How you can apply the binomial theorem in such a case? So we need to keep the 3 points we have discussed in the very start in our mind regarding the powers of both the term a and b, and then we will see what will be the coefficients with them by using the Pascal's triangle. So a plus b power 0 is obvious that it will be equals to 1. So we need not to go into it, and in the it's 1, it means the coefficient, the binomial coefficient in it will be 1. In the Pascal's triangle we always have 1 at the top. So this will be the start of the Pascal's triangle, where we will have 1 at the very top. So I'll write 1 here. So we will have 1 at the very top. We will write 1 here. The coefficient is 1. Binomial coefficient will be 1 if you have the power of the binomial expression as 0. Now if we increase the power to 1, like a plus b power 1, then what will be in such a case? We will get a plus b. Now here, what are the coefficients of a and b? And it's obvious here, the coefficients of a and b will be 1. We need not to compute here, as it is clear from the given binomial expression, because it's the simplest one. Now how we came to know that it is 1 and 1? By using the Pascal's triangle. Let's see. So in the Pascal's triangle, we will have 1 1 again here at this level. So that's why we have 1 and 1 coefficients with the a and b, as according to the Pascal's triangle as well. So these are the two stages of the Pascal's triangle. As we move forward, you will understand it better. Now we are moving towards the complex expressions. Then a plus b whole square. Here we have n is equals to 2. Now how we will expand it using the binomial expression? Let's see. First of all, we need to compute the a and b with their exponents, keeping in mind the 2 points that we have discussed in the very start, that what will be the powers, how they will be reduced, or how they will be increased, in what manner. Let's see. First of all, I'll write the first term a. The exponent of the first term will be this power, so it will be a square, and we have to multiply the second term with it. What will be the exponent of the second term? Keep this in mind, the exponent of the second term will always start from 0. These are the 2 points we have discussed in the start of this lecture. So keep this in mind regarding the exponents, these things. Then plus, now we have to decrease the exponent, the first exponent, the exponent of the first one, and increase the exponent of the second. It will become a b plus a b square. So this will be according to the binomial theorem, because we are increasing the power of the first term of the binomial expression and decreasing the power of the second term of the binomial expression. Now what will be the binomial coefficients? It means what will be multiplying with these. Let's see how you can compute the coefficients of these 3 terms of the binomial theorem. In the Pascal's triangle, keep this in mind, when you go from first 2 layers, in the third layer what you have to do, you have to write the sum of the above 2 terms, like this one will be the same, this one will be the same, but here you have to write the sum of the above 2 terms, this one and this one. So sum of 1 plus 1 is 2. Now it means the coefficients of these terms will be, here it will be 1, 2 and 1. So what we will get is, we will get, if I write it in simpler form, a square plus 2ab plus b square. So this is by using the binomial theorem. So this is how you can use the binomial theorem in order to expand the given expression. Now we will move towards the next, where we have a plus b power cube. Here again we have to apply the same method. First we have to go from the we have to take the first term, that is a. The power of first term will be this 3. Power of second term will be 0. It will always start from 0. Keep this in mind. Plus, now reduce the power of a and increase the power of b. So a square b1 plus a b square, it will become 0. It will become 1 plus a power 0 b cube. So this is how you can expand it by using the binomial theorem. Now what will be the coefficients with these terms? Let's see through the Pascal's triangle. Now we will expand the Pascal's triangle further as like this, like this, like this. You have to make it like this. Now the corner boxes will have the 1 as it is, but the middle ones will be the sum of the above 2. So here we will have 3 and here we will have 3. The sum of like these 2 and the sum of these 2. So these will be the coefficients in this case. So I'll write the coefficients as, here we will have 1, here we will have 3, here we will have 3, and here we will have 1 again. So if I write in simplest form, it will be a cube plus 3a square b plus 3ab square plus b cube. So this is how you can expand the given expression by using the binomial theorem and the binomial coefficients by using the Pascal's triangle. Then I write a plus b whole 4. Let's see how you can expand it. So again you have to go through the same method. First you have to write the first term, that is a, the power will be this one 4, and the power of b will be 0. It will start from 0 plus, now you have to go down as a3 and b will increase, plus a2 b2 plus a1 b3 plus a0 b4. Keep this in mind, the sum of their powers will always equal to this power. The sum of the power of a and b will always equals to this power. So now let's compute the binomial coefficient from the Pascal's triangle as, now we will further make this Pascal triangle like this, this and this and this and this. So again the last boxes will have the value of 1. Here we will have 1, we'll have 1, here we will have 4, here we will have 6, and we will have 4. Why? Because we have to add up these values. So these are the coefficients of these terms. So I'll write the coefficients as, here we will have 1, here 4, here 6, then 4 and then 1. And if I write it in simplified form, I'll get a4 plus 4a cube b plus 6a square b square plus 4ab cube plus b4. So this is how Pascal's triangle is helpful in finding the coefficients or the binomial coefficients, and the values of a and b, how to write a and b can be understandable by using the first 2 points that I have discussed, that the power of a or the exponent of the first term of the expression will go from n to 0, and the exponent of the second term will go from 0 to n, and then you have to write the coefficients by using the Pascal's triangle. So this is Pascal's triangle to compute the binomial coefficient, and you can also use the concept of combination for computing the binomial coefficients. So that's all from today's lecture. Thank you.